You're in the Peacock Corner, all Peacocks all the time, because the Peacocks rock. Warren is in the driver's seat for this one, but everybody say hi to my esteemed podcast partner, the Alpha Peacock, Mike Schrock. Good morning to you, Mike.
Hello. How are you,
By the
Warren?
way, nice work on that background. That's very tasty. You got to show me after the call how we did that.
I'm not really sure, but I think I maybe tripped over by accident, but it works for right now. I just don't want you to see my cats fighting behind me because that's usually what's going on when I'm recording a podcast. Had to do something.
Cat Wars, little bonus content. I'm into it. So yeah, you're right. I probably prefer the background to that. Hey, spring football is straight ahead. I imagine that the campus is abuzz with activity right now and a lot of stuff going on at the stadium and the guys getting kind of ready. What are your observations from very nearby in Fayette around all of that?
It just so happens, Warren, my office is on the way to the football field for our football guys. Every day I get to see these huge specimens just walk down to the field. And then about 3:30, 4 o'clock, I hear the music pumping. And you and I both know Hoskins is a winner, right? He's got this program turned around. So the work that they're doing down there, I know is top notch and first class. But I happened to be kind of over in Dormant Gymnasium the other day, and downstairs is the weight room. And I happened to walk in, and Coach Hoskins was in there with some of the football guys working out. And to say the least, these guys are putting in the work, man. The sweat, the energy in there. Coach Hoskins is right there. Got our interim strength coach working these guys out, all positive vibes. Just was really impressed with what I've seen or what I was able to see in the weight room. And so I asked Coach Hoskins, I'm like, might as well use the opportunity. I said, hey, what do you think so far? And he said, he gave the typical college coach answer for April. We got some things to work on. And my response was, that's why it's April and it's not September yet. The impression that I got from him and what I've seen with my own eyes is we're not looking at rebuilding this year. They're looking at reloading, Warren, and just a lot of positive things football wise there. I don't know up there in Minnesota. Have you seen, heard, read anything about Upper Iowa football?
A little bit. I saw that the Peacocks signed on a new quarterback coach that was once, not long ago, the quarterback at Minnesota State Mankato University. And I was just going to ask you about him to find out if you've bumped into him yet in Fayette.
I haven't yet. Those football guys, especially right now, they're locked in and they do their own thing. I always find it really lucky of myself to even run into Coach Hoskins at this time. But the vibe that I'm getting from the team and a few of the players that I've talked to is they really like this new quarterbacks coach. Going to help elevate that position, obviously, because that's an area that's going to be a big vacancy this year with Daryl Overstreet Jr. leaving, and having this coach come in, the kids buying into his system and what he likes to do is going to be huge. But I have not yet been able to meet him personally.
By the way, for our listeners, the new quarterback's coach's name is Hayden Eckern. He was a quarterback at Minnesota State University in Mankato. In fact, I think he's played once or twice down in Fayette. And I just think I was there for one of those games. And it didn't turn out very well for the Peacocks that day, but I think 0-12 lifetime against Mankato. So maybe one thing that we can do is get some of that Mankato stuff to kind of rub off in Fayette. And then maybe get a little home and home series with Mankato. That'd be fun to start things up with those guys again.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see where we measure up with them, because as much as I don't want to say good things about Mankato, they have a hell of a program there, man. They're winners and they get it done right. And as far as the NSIC goes, they've been the standard. And so it would be nice to see, with this new resurgence of Upper Iowa football, kind of where we measure up in regards to a team like Mankato. So I would love that personally. And I know Hoskins is one of those guys that doesn't like to turn away from challenges. So I think he would be all for it as well.
Switching to basketball really quick. There's over 1,000 kids in the transfer portal right now. And I think we've had one or two moving in and out of Fayette. What updates can you provide around that?
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Warren. With the transfer portal and the craziness that is, you always want your team or your school to not have very many of those kids go in. Upper Iowa's been very fortunate, especially with first-year coach Casey Kasperbauer, because what that tells me is that the kids are buying into Coach Kasperbauer. They like playing for him. They like Fayette. They like Upper Iowa, and they want to stay and stick it out. We had one young man enter the transfer portal, Ashton Herman. Wish him nothing but the best. Fantastic kid. I think he's just maybe looking for some more playing time. I don't know. And then most people saw that Trey Lewis jumped into the portal. Just to be clear on that, Trey Lewis does have the JUCO waiver, which means he can transfer and get an extra year at a Division I school only. So that's why he's in that portal. He's not leaving the traditional transfer portal way. So he's just looking for that D1 opportunity. He's played at that level, and I think he will get picked up. And I wish him nothing but the best. And then talking with Coach Casper Bauer the other day, this is a surprise to me, but he had told me that Zach Irwin has retired from basketball, but he is stepping away from basketball. So not in the portal, but won't be on the roster necessarily next year.
So that kind of means as we peek around through the portal, maybe if pick up a little bit of size. Size is something that maybe even when we had Zach on the roster that we were wishing we had a little bit more of. Now it looks like we might be shopping for even a little bit more size after that news.
Yeah, and in that conversation with Casper Bauer, I asked him with the seniors graduating and with Ashton in the portal, Zach Lee, what are we looking at as far as bringing in kids? And he says he's got 4 spots to fill. Now, this was before the news that we got the other day regarding Hudson. But so that may be 4 or 5. I know Casper Bauer's had some visits on campus and things like that. And yeah, Warren, I would guess we're looking for some size there. We've already brought in a JUCO kid, Ben Bachman, and we can talk a little bit about him. 6'5", 195 out of Decorah, Iowa. He's a guard, so he's just right down the road. So that means we'll have a lot of Ben Bachman fans at our games, which we always love. And he's very comparable, as I watch him, Warren, to Caleb Dezell, who was also a Kirkwood kid that came to us, all the way down to the mustache. He has the mustache as well, which I'm like, what are they doing at Kirkwood? But anyway, he's got size, plays as a guard, shoots the 3 in about a 36% clip. And so I think people that were able to watch Caleb Dezell and his time at Upper Iowa are going to see Ben Bachman and say, that guy looks familiar. The way he plays looks familiar. And so that was my comparison when I was watching Ben.
Interesting. Sounds like he can maybe play more than one position on the floor. I know Delly, his years with us, my vision of him was those trail 3s on the break, and then Delly be back there on the wing or just near the key, and you could let him go and drop him in about 35, 36% of the time. If you got 4 or 5 guys on the floor that are capable of doing that, you're going to score a lot of points 3 at a time.
Yeah, the one difference between Delly and Ben Bachman is going to be Delly was one of the conference leaders in block shots. I don't see Ben blocking a lot of shots or haven't seen him blocking a lot of shots. I would love to be pleasantly surprised by that. The one thing you know about Casper Bauer, or at least that I've learned about Casper Bauer and the kids that he brings in, is they do play defense. You have to. At Upper Iowa, that's the new standard, and really excited to get this kid in. Think he's going to be a good fit. And then, yeah, as far as the rest of the portal goes, I keep updating every day. I try to get out of the coaches what I can to see what else we're bringing in. Just a really exciting time for Upper Iowa men's basketball. So that along with they have been doing some workouts, and I've stuck my head in the gym a few times. And man, I tell you, I'm excited about what we're bringing back. We've lost some key pieces, and this is all while Kyle Herntzer is playing baseball. So Kyle Herntzer is not in the gym, but I saw Ty Fluhop. He's walking around now. He's been integrated back into practice, working his way back. He's going to be a big kid next year for Casper Bauer's group. Just a lot of really good things that I'm seeing out of those gentlemen here in the spring off season.
Yeah, more minutes coming Ty's way. That seems to be an almost certainty. Not really awesome news coming out of the campus though. Hudson Lawrenson from Adel DeSoto Minburn. We're going to bring him on, but then his pop Todd took a job down at Rockhurst to fill the opening down there. And it should appear, I haven't read the news, but it should appear that Hudson's going to follow his dad down there and compete in the Great Lakes Valley Conference, but not in Peacock blue. What do you know about that?
It's hard to be upset about it, right? Hudson, great talent. Looking forward to him being a Peacock. But when your dad takes a Division II job at a traditionally good basketball school. I wish it wasn't in our conference, but it is what it is. So we'll get to see Hudson play at least twice this next year. And I wish them nothing but the best. If anything, I guess you kind of have to be upset that Hudson's dad, for being such a great coach, stop getting jobs. But
Yep.
no, in all fairness, Warren, and Hudson knows too, he was going to be welcomed at Upper. We're not going to boo the kid when he comes to Fayette. Nothing like
We
that.
will not.
We don't do that stuff, and we completely understand. And I know Casper Bauer, he's probably disappointed, but I know he understands as well. Wish him nothing but the best. Outstanding kid, outstanding family. So again, nothing but the best to Hudson.
Yeah, and I always root for the Iowa kids, and I'm always sorry to see when they leak out. But if they leak out to another state to go play for their dad, there is no hard feelings there. That's all good. But what other news you got down there, Mike, that you can share out?
Just to stay with basketball, been watching the ladies of Upper Iowa with their spring preparation. They look incredible. And when I say that, I mean that there is potential for this team to be really good next year. They've already got commitments from 2 freshmen that will step in right away. And I don't want to speak for Coach Moss, but I see these kids getting minutes right away. But our freshmen have already started to make the transition to just getting better. And this is one of the things that I love about Coach Moss the most is he is a developer of players. And I need to include assistant coach Bridget Griffin in that as well, because she works with him as well. But this coaching staff really develops kids, and the improvement that I've seen on just in the spring, sticking my head in the gym on Maggie Bjornson, Josie Foster have been incredible. Just completely different from the first time they stepped on campus to where they're at now, and really impressed with that. As far as Upper Iowa goes, we did have one girl enter the transfer portal, Amara, and she is going to graduate from Upper Iowa, and she's always going to be a Peacock. But with Amara, she just wasn't going to get any playing time at Upper Iowa, and she wants to play. So she entered the transfer portal. There's no feelings there, which is always good. And she's going to try to find a home so she can get on the floor next year. And it's one of those cases where just the kids in front of you they continue to get better. And she was just having trouble cracking any playing time. Again, wish her nothing but the best. As far as portal news, they are combing the portal right now, entertaining any opportunities. They don't have as many roster spots to fill as Coach Casper Bowers. He's looking, he could pick up 3, he could pick up 1. He feels pretty good about where he's going there. And one final thing I'll say about Upper Iowa women's basketball is Kendall Lodemeyer. Oof. She's been impressive this freshman campaign, and I saw her in the gym, and admittedly, I'm a Peacock homer, right? So sometimes I see people through the Peacock goggles, but boy, oh boy, I'm impressed by her. Holy moly. She just gets stronger, and her footwork is getting better. And she was really working on her right hand. Saw her in the post. She likes to go left, and coaches were picking up on that late in the season. Saw her doing a lot of right-handed work, and I'm like, oh boy, look out, GLBC. You got a monster getting ready to come at you.
At this level, the amount of time that is required in the gym for these athletes at this time of year would be limited. You probably have a number in mind, but if you're seeing her in the gym all the time, or at least most of the time, that's a indicator that she wants to be there, wants to work on her game and show us something that we didn't see a season ago.
And as far as on the basketball side of things, because that's easy to see kids putting in the extra work, both on the men's and women's side, that gym has always got somebody in it, whether it's a couple men's players shooting at one end and a couple women's players shooting at the other end. I walked in there one morning at 7:30 and Lindsay Davis was in there shooting before class. And that's just the mentality that our athletes have up here is, when I've got the extra time, I'm going to put in the extra work. And that's what I love to see. I love to see that. And let's be honest, Fayette, if you've got spare time, especially in the winter, you're not going to the mall. You're not going shopping. You're not like, this is what you have to do. So let's really try to improve our craft. And I see a lot of that. So it's a lot of respect for those kids, put in the work both in the classroom, but also the extra work in the gym.
Darn, let's get in that gym and mix it up. Hey, switching
All
back
right.
to men's basketball really quick. I just tripped over some news that Jack Miller, one of the stars on the basketball team last year, also happens to be a pretty decent golfer. Jack from Jessup, what did he shoot? A 70 and a 71 back-to-back days. I saw him wearing a stocking cap on. It must have been cold as can be there, but that's couple of pretty good rounds of golf for Jack. What do you know about that?
First of all, when people say that collegiate golfers are not tough, I call BS on that because this past weekend they were golfing in torrential downpour. Like you said, Jack had the stocking cap on. They've got the hoods up. They're wearing their winter gear and they're out there putting it forward. But Jack Miller, what can this kid not do? We see him on the basketball court and he's flying all over the place. Incredible athlete there. In high school, he was a track star. He was a baseball star. He was a golf star, basketball. It's just, what can this kid not do? And so the fact that he's also golfing and doing very well in that, not surprising at all for me to see this.
I look at a kid like Jack, and I just have a feeling he could be good at just about anything he tries. And I still think that he should try out for the football team because I think they could find something for him to do there. Heck of an athlete, and I was really happy to read that news about him. But yeah, fine golfer, fine athlete. Jack Miller from Jessup, Iowa. And Mike, I think we're just a few short weeks away from, is it the 31st annual Peacock Charity Golf Classic?
Yeah, you are correct. Our 31st annual Peacock Golf Classic. Great opportunity to come out, support Peacock athletics. There's prizes to be won. You can sign up your foursome. You get a free t-shirt for the day. There's also a meal involved. Lots of adult pops that will be drank as well. Meet some of the Hall of Famers, some of the greats, some of the Upper Iowa legends, as well as some of the current coaching staff and administrative staff for Upper Iowa athletics. So love to see you all out there.
Ton of fun. Always room for one more foursome. Let's see if we can fill that joint up and have a great day out there on the golf course. Hey, speaking of the Hall of Fame, Mike, you got some news to share out about that, do you not?
I do, Warren. Actually, really excited to share this, but I am officially now a member of the Upper Iowa University Athletics Hall of Fame Committee, which means I get to sit with a group of dedicated Upper Iowa athletic personnel, and we get to make decisions on who will join the other legends in the Upper Iowa Athletics Hall of Fame. So our first meeting is this May, and I'm excited about it and can't wait to get started.
That is fabulous news. You have forgotten more about Upper Iowa athletics than most people knew. I thought you were on the committee already, so congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think that's all we got for today. Looking forward to seeing you next time. That's Mike Schrock over there. I'm Warren Reyerson. We will see you next time.